Folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a simple bracelet using our bargain bead box for June Sunrise, Summer Sunrise. That's what it's called, Summer Sunrise. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I've got some Softlex Spinel medium beading wire. It matches these beads pretty good. These are the maroon agates. It's not quite all of them. There's a few more, but I'm going to put the bead caps on them, and I don't have any more bead caps, so we'll use what we've got. Now, if it ends up that I don't have enough beads, because we're going to do these, well, I'm going to just cut off a length of wire. This is probably about 12 inches. Probably don't need that much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. So we'll just cut this off. And I will put a bead stopper on one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these small spacers and then one of these little yellows, English cuts, and we're going to do half of the yellow English cuts on one side and half on the other. And then when we get finished with these, we will start with all of these. Just put them all in a row with the bead caps on them. And then we'll go back to the yellow on the other side. So very simple pattern, but I think it's going to be pretty with the color blocking that will make it have. Now I'm not sure if the length will be too long or too short. I haven't tried this out, so we will see how it is. If it's too short, we'll put an extender chain on it, and if it is too long, we'll remove some beads. I'm thinking the ones I actually will want to remove is like one of these, because there is an even amount of these, and I like an uneven amount, but let's see how we do. So now we're going to take these beads and we're going to have a space, one of the bead caps on either side, which sort of makes this into a double bead cap because it's going to be like so. You see how we've doubled it up here? So we're just going to go up the line of these. Now this should be halfway point. Let's see how long it actually is. And it is about 3.5. So I think we're going to actually maybe be longer than we want to be. We might not be, because these are bigger beads and so they take up a lot with their circumference. So we will see as we get there. Okay, this is the last of our big beads. There's our last bead cap. So then we will go back to putting on the little yellows. And here is our last spacer. So we'll put on our bead stopper here, sort of push away these things we aren't going to need. These are our findings, and we'll measure this baby. Now see, it comes out to be about 7 inches, and with the hardware on it's going to be probably 7.5. So as far as my arm is concerned, I think that's going to be fine. Let's check with the sizer. Now see how the bigger beads have taken up some of the room. So it's at 7, we've got that much gap left. So I think we're going to be fine just putting on our hardware here, and so we'll get that done. So the first thing we'll want to do is put on a crimp tube, and then I'm going to put on this larger jump ring, and we'll bring our crimp tube back through here. Go. Now you want to make sure that your wires, I think it just popped out. It did. So we need to put her back through. Make sure our wires aren't crossed. Push her up to where you want her to be at. I think I want smaller than that, so take your crimping pliers. Now I use the magical crimper. There's a divot. You put your crimp tube right in the middle of that divot. And squish. Then you turn it and go in the divot again and squish, and do that all around the edge of it. Until it doesn't squish anymore, and you have a round little ball. Okay, now let's see if this will go through here twice. I'm not sure if it will. Looks like it will with no problem, so we'll just slide our beads up here and come over to this side over here. And then we'll put our crimp tube on again, and then our small jump ring. Now, because we're doing our second side now, we have to be a little more careful about putting the wire through and such, because the other side we could do it afterwards because we had all this other room. This side we can't. It has to be on now. So we'll just get it to a good spot going through the beads, and then we'll pull it up tight using the oval jump ring as a fulcrum. You just pull on it, and you see we've got it pretty tightly along there now. So we're just going to push this down a little bit where that gap is somewhat, and then we'll crimp this up. Now it's gonna, your jump ring is now gonna try and get in your way, so you have to sort of push it out of your way. Crimp. And we'll go in and crimp again. Like I say, your jump ring is going to try and get in your way now. You need to be pretty careful that you don't have it in your way here as you crimp. Okay, pull, and it's nice and tight. So now we're going to cut off this extra wire. I had quite a bit more than I needed, but as a lot of you know, I'd rather have extra than not enough and have to work at a very tight spot. So now that we've got that all cut up, the next thing to do is to open the little jump ring and put on our lobster claw. So we get our flush cutters, or not our flush cutters, we just used those. We want our 2 pair of chain nose pliers. So we can open this up and we'll put our lobster claw on. Then we'll close it. It's not quite closed. There she goes. And we're going to now hook it up and see what size it is. If we need more chain, then we've got a little chain over here at the side. Seven and a half, I think, between 7.5, 7.25, I think that's about perfect. So I don't think we need to do anything more. So there we go. There is our bracelet. Now, as you can see, that was very, very simple. Just a nice, straight, color blocking bracelet. But oh, did it turn out pretty. I hope you enjoyed making this with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We made this beautiful beaded bracelet using our Summer Sunrise Bargain Bead Box kit from June. Isn't that pretty? Hope you enjoyed making this with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.